Am I coming in clear? Testing, testing. Alright. Alright, just a quick sound test. Testing, testing. Am I coming through? Just a quick sound test. Alright, beautiful. Okay. Hi everyone, welcome to today's stream. My name is Jay Skyloft here, a local waxman, and today I am your local Sky Moth. And first off, I'd like to apologize for the slight delay. It's been having some technical difficulties with my connection with some stuff today, so hopefully we will have a decent stream and it won't end in a total disaster. Alright, now for those of you just joining in, you might notice the model I'm using is usually different from the PNG that I usually use. Well, this is because, as of this stream, there's currently a special event with the Aurora concert going on, so I figured, hey, since that's going on, might as well play a game that is very dear to me and has brought a lot of connections with people. And I figured, hey, why not just use a special Sky Moth model? Alright. Sorry, just making sure everything's running smoothly. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get the gameplay started, and hopefully it won't die on us. Alright. Making sure the connection is there. Having a bit of a thing with OBS. That's alright. Okay, it's coming to the stream. We are rocking good. Alright. So I'm not sure if you can tell in the upper right corner there, the model I'm using, it was made by PityAction on Steam. This is their Vtube Studio model, free to use. You might notice a slight coloration with the cape. I tried going for the more orange cape. And if you want to take a look at the last VOD, you'll notice that the cape is more of the classic moth brown. Yeah, so PityAction, if you're watching this, hope the coloration change is okay with you. And let's go ahead and get this show on the road. Alright, so in the last stream, I took you guys a little impromptu tour of Sky Children of the Light in the main areas. I had skipped over a lot of the side areas, mostly due to time. So today, I like to take you on a tour of the other areas. And this is something I've actually noticed. This is the first time I've set my home to my nest, and I just realized that, you know, the little character, Sky Kid, it just sets you in whatever scene is available, and I thought that was pretty neat. Alright, so as you can see, the my Sky Kid is a lot more dressed up than the moth model I'm using. Yeah, these items are from the season of Bluebird season that's currently going on. And first, I just gotta say, I just really love the cape. Of course, as Jay, I would love the Jaybird theme items, but something I really like about this is if you flap, you see little blue feathers fly out, which I think is a really nice detail. And when you go to flight mode, it leaves a blue trail. So yeah, good on you, that game company. Thanks for the special attention to detail. Alright, now before we get the official tour started, let me give you a little tour of the room. Alright, so here's all the items and plushies that I've collected. As you can see, we got the Portal Companion Cube. Now, this is an exclusive item that you get from the Steam version of Sky Children of the Light. And this was a special item that was released last year for the official release. So yeah, for all you PC gamers out there, here's a little special treat for you. And if you yeet it across the room, it goes clank. Alright, as you can see, I've got the special Oreo plush right here. I got this from last year's Skyfest, which was my first time doing Skyfest. So I'm debating on whether or not to do another, like a special stream for Skyfest. I know there's other, like, bigger known Sky YouTubers out there that do a lot of streams, like Nasty Mold and Noob Mode. I check out their videos sometimes to check out different beta items. So yeah, make sure to check these guys out when you can. Alright, so if you see all the wood theme items, these were special items from the season of nesting. I had bought the season pass when it came out, so I'm not sure if these items are still available for purchase. It is kind of funny, though, how there weren't really any spirits, like traditionally. I know there's the seasonal spirit where you got the quest from, but yeah. I wonder if whenever there is a traveling spirit for this season, if it's just gonna be like this bed or a table. There's like, hey, come buy stuff from this bed. Alright, so this special heart plushie and the special heart gem here are from Days of Love. Oh, sorry, there's some dogs barking outside right now. Not sure if you can hear them, but yeah, they like to bark at, random people minding their own business. They'll just be, walking down the street. They'll be like, hey, get out of here. You're in my peripheral vision. Alright, so next to my bed here, I got this special Days of Fortune bonsai tree. Now, I think this was a new item they added in this year's Days of Fortune. It costs a good, decent, like 200 candles, but, it looks pretty neat. And you can see I got posters from the Days of Duet season. I'll be showing you guys that area here in a bit. This is also where I got this special piano. And right here is a table from the Days of Feasts, or like the Christmas slash December holiday themed event. I waited so long to get this because I wasn't able to get it the year before. So, yeah. Nice comfy chair to have our special meal of nothing. Delicious. Right, oh, and this special beauty here is the Aurora Wings that you got from the season of Aurora when it first came out, but as I've mentioned in my previous stream, there's a special Aurora concert showing going on right now. I've heard that they might make it like a regular yearly thing instead of like a once in a while event. So yeah, whenever that comes around, I'll be I'll have these wings on me so I can teleport my friends to whenever they want to visit anytime. Oh, and this little guy here. Oh, that I'm currently sitting on, sorry. So this little foxy here. Sorry, I keep sitting on you. There we go. Alright, so this little fox guy here. I got this from the season of the Little Prince collab going on. They sort of did like a special recurrence event this year. Now this is unfortunately an item you have to pay with real money for, so but I gotta say, it was totally worth it. I'll just sit you back in your little chair here. There you go, nice and comfy. Alright. So I also got these more nesting items here. Oh, and this special music shell is also from the Skyfest. So if you go ahead and press it here. Yeah. Alright, that's enough. I don't want to get copyright struck. Honestly, I'm not sure if what their policy is exactly on, whether or not that type of music is copyright. I don't think it'll have that much of an issue. So, I mean, there's not really a whole bunch of people watching right now, so yeah, in the off chance that someone does notice, let me know if it's safe to play this music. Oh, and this table here, this is from the Days of Mischief, the Halloween-themed event. As you can see, there's lots of spooky vines and leaves. Ew. It is a little disappointing that there's only 2 seats, but, I guess it's useful for, like, private conversations. Alright. So let's go ahead and get this tour on the road. Now, you could go down the elevator like a normal person, or you can just jump off the balcony. Right, kids, do not do this at home. Whee! Alright. Now, some of you may know this is the Aviary Village. This is actually the first season that I've played as a moth, the season of revival. And here's one of the special spirits for if you interact with them. Yeah, you like that? How about this? Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah, I've mentioned before, but this is like the main hub area for a lot of new players nowadays. Before it was the simple home island, which is what I usually have as my home spawn, but I figured I'd mix it up a bit. Makes it easier to show the tour. Right, and this friendly fellow here is the Hopeful Steward. Wah. some of you may not know, but this special spirit here, they're gonna be an exclusive character for the upcoming Sky the Two Embers. That's gonna be the special, I guess I want to say, movie or like series that they're gonna be showing next month. Again, I'm not sure if I'll be allowed to stream that, but yeah, I'm gonna be taking a special day off to check it out. Alright, now first off, we're gonna be taking a tour of the Duets concert area. Now this was introduced, I want to say, last year, I think. Yeah, this is one of the seasons that added a new section of Aviary Village. I know that's sort of the plan that that game company wants to do, just like add on different additions to the village. So usually when you start off, it takes you on a boat, and that's where you'll meet the Duets guide. Now when you're first starting off, it doesn't look as, you know, set up as it normally does. It's usually more decrepit, but as you complete the season, it opens up a lot more, and you can interact with not only the items here, but also other people here. Alright, now you might notice these little Sky Kid ghosties flying around. Yeah, this is an area where, you know, you can hold special events where the servers sort of like come together. So there's a lot more people here. Since usually in normal areas, there's only shows like 8 people. So yeah, whenever you see a friend here, you can just sit on down and... Oh. So yeah, this concert hall is a special area where Sky Kids can come here and play music for a bunch of people. You might notice a whole bunch of empty seats here. I mean, there's a good number of people here, though. I mean, it is sort of like sometimes when you come here, whenever there's not a concert or anything going on, it is sort of like a empty concert hall. So not a whole lot of people showing up. Alright, so while they're doing their little concert thing, let's sneak on to the back. Oh. There we go. Alright, so these items here, during the season, they were available for purchase. And like I said, similar to the nesting season, instead of traditional spirits, was just these items you can purchase. So I am wondering if they do bring back these items as like traveling spirits, if it's just going to be the items themselves, or if it's just like a special event was like, hey, we're bringing back this season, because why not? Oh, and here's the duet spirits themselves. There's the Mr. and Mrs. Duet. I'm not actually sure if there's official, well, there are official names, but like, so yeah, this season sort of has like a, I guess, relationship story where they came into the Avery Village, built this concert hall, but then they ended up getting attacked by falling shard, which destroyed it, and destroyed their, I guess, relationship in a way. Not really sure what their relationship is. I guess they're like a couple, maybe? And this is also where you can switch out, your cosmetics and instruments. So yeah, this here's my collection of different capes I've collected. I'm not really sure where this boat goes. Oh man, you can't sail it. And I did explore this area a bit, but not too much, so there might be a few rooms I haven't seen yet. But over here, we got this little ghost crab cave. Can you flip them? No. But yeah, they're just little guys, just chilling. And over here is a special hidden compartment with a little flower. Yeah, there's a lot of areas in Sky with these like little hiding, hidden away caves. They don't really offer too much other than just the nice place to relax if you want to, which I think is pretty nice. Alright, so up over here, head on up these stairs, we see more seating areas. Well, I guess you can't really sit in these. Yeah, I guess you just sort of sit this way while you keep your drink in the back. Oh! Another seating area. Nice. I thought there was like another countertop. So yeah, so not only will Sky Kids come on and play music for people, but I think there was like a special gathering event for like more official team members. So yeah, sometimes they hold musical events, and if we go out back here, as you can see, it leads you back up top. Now the only gripe I have about that area is if you go in with, other people, like if you're holding hands, sometimes it'll like split you. Yeah, same with going out. Like there'll be like situations where you end up getting separated into different servers and you have to come back. So yeah. Oh, rock. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Oh, and there's Aurora herself. Yeah, I think she's only here for like a few more days, and then the next event will start. Yeah, workshop, show and tell. Not exactly sure what that's all gonna be about. I've heard it's gonna be like Sky Kids will make spaces and like show them different people. Oh, speaking of which, this here is the season of nesting workshop. This is where you can buy different items and furniture for your quote-unquote nest, which is a little apartment that you can get when you do the quest for this season guide right here. Oh. There we go. Sorry, like I said, I'm having some technical difficulties, so we might end up... Oh, uh-oh. There we go. Alright, now over here is the challenge board. I think this was... I'm not really sure what the original intent is. It's like different challenges you can make to get these special items. Now this one lets you share instruments with other friends. And this one is like a mannequin, which is the one that you saw back in the my nest. And this one, this is like a music box shell that plays different background music from other areas. The only downside is the quests are ones where you have to spend more candles on items, which, I mean, it is kind of a cop-out where, oh, there we go. Like having to spend your money on stuff. Ah, shoot. Alright. Don't you die on me. Don't you die on me, Sky. Yeah, the last couple of times I played, my screen ended up going black. So, if you guys out there know a way I can fix it, I would really appreciate it. Alright, so these guys here, they offer the daily quests. Oh. Ah, dang. Yeah, I think there might be a little bit of lag with, having my little moth tuber model here. Yeah, I might have to switch to like a non-tracking version if it keeps going up like this. Alright, so like I was saying, the spirits back there, they offer the daily quests, which I will get with here in a moment. But first, let's get the official tour officially started. Well, I mean, I sort of already did. Alright, so in here, this is the cafe. If you come in here, sit down, and this special cafe lady here will start preparing a special roll that you can consume for wax. Now, the alternative way you can get the muffin or a roll is if after you do the daily quests and you sit in the area outside, then the worker outside will give you the muffin. But this is also another way to, bypass that requirement. It does take a little longer, but, it's pretty worth it just to get a little extra boost of wax. And this is another area where you can sit down and talk to people. Aha! Alright, I'll let those guys do their thing. Now, were there any other areas over here? Oh. Alright, so if you go around to the back over here, there should be an entrance to another hidey hole. Voila. Yeah, like I said, it's just another cave where, people can set up memories or spaces. And we're probably going to be seeing a lot more of these throughout the tour, so yeah, if you guys want a place to like just chill and chat without interruptions, stay tuned for the tour. I do wonder if, whoever else is joining us today, and not too many people from the looks of it. Yeah, for those of you who watched my previous stream, you were sort of introduced to my other Sky friends. Yeah, they tend to like pop in whenever I'm on just so they can get a free ride. Or if they just want to like hang out and talk. Yeah, I do let them know ahead of time when I'm streaming in case they don't want to be involved, which is totally understandable. Ooh, and this special scepter here, this lets you know when they do a special fireworks event. During the days of revival, they held like a fireworks show at the end of the season, and I believe it's a recurring event that they do, like every like once a month. So whenever you guys are on and you see this little sitting area appear in front of the scepter, it lets you watch a little fireworks show. All right, believe that takes care of all the places in the village. Let's go ahead and get started in the Days of Dawn, or Isle of Dawn, I would say. Alright, so for those of you who watched the previous stream or are familiar with Sky, you'll know that this area is representative of Earth. I know I sort of did like a brief explanation of each area in the previous stream. I think it's a pretty good recap. Alright, so there's not too many hidden areas, as far as I know. I know there's like a special rainbow block up in the clouds up there. I think you can only get it with you doing like the the rocket glitch with a friend. So yeah, next time you and your buddy are here, if you both activate the piggy trigger at the same time, it lets you zip up into the clouds and above the skybox. Oh. Alright, so I guess this isn't really a hidden area, since this is where a special spirit is. This is actually where you get the piggy emote, as I've mentioned earlier. Oh boy. Alright, so this is one of those spirits where you have to drag its body, or its, like, orb, or its spark, throughout the cave, and it'll end up in this section here. Now, I've always wondered what this is a representation of. I think it's like a special lore hint as to what this, like, the whole society function as, since these are like special light orbs, and I believe, like, according to the lore, that this is how they carried the light that they collected up to the next area, or like the light energy. Yeah, they're probably gonna be doing a lot more like lore background during the two embers showing. I think they said it's gonna take place 500 years before the timeline of Skytron of the Light. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot more like explanation as to what happened and how the society functioned. It is kind of weird how, well, I guess it's not weird that there's like a timeline of the stuff that happens here. Considering, if you paid attention to the, the day cycle, like if you go through each area, like, in order, it'll be like dawn, daylight, and then eventually it'll go into like sunset and then night. You could say like going through each area takes over like a course of a day. So like each time you're on Sky, it's like a day goes by. So I do wonder like what like the actual like how time is considered tracked. Because also in the Aviary Village, whenever there's like each hour, like it transitions from like morning, day, afternoon, and then sunset and then night. So I do wonder like which like timeline is the official like cycle of the day. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to do the stop and go lag here, so yeah, sorry Moth Kid. Probably gonna have to deactivate you for just a second. No, I don't want to go into the void. Oh, that's too bad. Ow. All right. Oh, shoot. Yeah, sorry guys. I you probably can't see it on here, but yeah, my screen just went totally black now for the game. So, yeah, just bear with me for a moment. Let me just go ahead and try to fix. All right, and we're back. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Like I said, I've been having technical difficulties, so yeah, sorry. We're gonna have to put away the mock VTuber model for right now. Yeah, also having some weird connections to chat. Don't worry, I'll still be able to see you guys off screen here, so yeah, whenever you guys feel like popping in and saying hi, I'll read you guys out. And you should also be able to see chat in the on the side during the VOD recap. But don't worry, I am still here. We have our little Jai, or Sky J here. Alright. Now, I think I've showed you the... Not sure if I showed you the Prophecy Cave before. I did show you where the entrance is, so if you guys want to... Actually, let me see if I can make my way back. Ah, dang. Yeah, like I said, I've been having technical difficulties the last couple of days. I'm trying to remember when exactly it started. I think it might have started when, I had to switch things up with my Wi-Fi earlier. Like, like it was working fine, but then, like, sometimes the connection isn't always great, so... Also, my, controller's been having connection issues, so, it sort of explains the little pop-up of the mobile version a second ago. Alright. So typically, when you're going through the prophecy entrance, you go through those stairs on the left. But if you're a savvy OBS explorer, you just gotta get at the right angle through this specific opening, twirl around, and voila. Right, so if you look towards the bottom there, you'll see a little open room. I actually explored it with another friend of mine a while back. Not too much in there, to be honest. Just just an open space, which I think is where there's like a little special section where the game sends your avatar when you're doing special cutscenes with the spirits. Alright, so up here is where the name Days of Prophecy comes from. So, like, after you complete the trials, they'll show these, like, murals up here, which I guess also gives more lore to the sky. Right, so right here, you can kind of make it out. It's like, hang on. I'm sure most of you can make the connections with this and the Two Embers trailer. But you can see, like, the different elders around here. Like, sort of what their roles were in the events of the Two Embers. And then in the center here is like a temple of some sorts. That's I believe that's like the castle that you see once you've completed the Eden run. Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much of the in-depth lore, but we'll be finding out very soon, I think. Alright, so once you get up here, right here's another path to the Wind Path. If you guys remember from the last stream, this is where most people tend to go to, like, take shortcuts to different sections. We Alright, now some of you are probably wondering, Jay, you already have a... Oh, hang on a second. Alright, there we go. Alright, you should be able to hear me better now. Alright, now you might be saying, Jay, you already have a PNG of the wax guy. Why not just switch to that? Well, like I said, I'm already having technical difficulties with my, my setup here, so I don't want to risk getting shut down again. I have been, like, debating on what I want to do with my PNG. I know it's sort of like a little rude version of a Sky Kid. So yeah, I was actually talking about it with a friend of mine who's like really into art designs and like color thesis. And they were saying how, the color palette, it could be changed up a bit, or like how the design itself could look like more like waxy instead of the more robot looking guy that I usually use. I've actually have debated on making like a robot design tuber, but like there's so many like ways to design it, or like there's so many like different like robot designs out there. It is sort of like hard to pin down like something that doesn't look too similar to something else, which I guess can't really be helped since a lot of designs look alike to other designs, so yeah, not sure if I'll change up my OG design soon, or wax. Yum yum yum. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. Worst case scenario, I'll just have to stick with the wax guy for a little bit until I can figure out something a little bit more pleasing to look at. Alright, so this floating island here has a lot of like hidden areas here. Like there's this hammock that you can't really sleep in. I mean, you could if you laid down on it, but yeah, there is not really a prompt for that, which is sort of a odd detail. Alright, and some of you might have noticed all these colored butterflies. I'm pretty sure I mentioned back in my previous VOD, but these are like a more recent addition during the the season of Radiance. Right, days and seasons are different, obviously. Alright, so in addition to these other side islands here, each have their own little, like, comfy nooks. Oh, like this person here. Looks like they're taking a little nap. Alright, chat, just... You gotta be quiet. Alright, we better get out of here before they see me creeping up on them. Get two guys here. Beautiful. Alright. Oh boy, more red. Yeah, when the Days of Radiance came out, when we tried to collect dye, we would just like get a whole bunch of red, which I'm not opposed to red. I like red fine, but like, here, let me show you real quick. I got 73 red and like 76 green and 65 purples, which is like a whole bunch of wax that, or a bunch of dye that I'm probably not gonna use. So it's like, why even have this like building up over time? Like if there was a way you can like trade it out with other dye, that would be a good mechanic. But there's, I guess, not much you can do about it for now. People at that game company, if you're listening on it, give us a way to do something else with this extra dye that we don't need, please. Alright. We've covered Dawn. Right. Isles of Dawn. On to the Daylight Prairie. Right, so I don't really see people come up here. This is where they introduce the shared spaces mechanic, where people can set up their, like, little, like, I want to say their rooms, like, little setups. Yeah. Oh, look, that's a little house. That's adorable. And there's the special cat they can get from Days of Mischief, which unfortunately doesn't like to be a pet for some reason, and that makes me sad. Alright, so typically people will come up to this left side just to do the sapling quest, which is actually a quest I'll have to do in the next area. Baboosh. Alright, so the Daylight Prairie is a more popular area, or I guess more crowded in terms of, people passing through, since this is where the Sanctuary Island is, where people usually go for geyser. Yeah, this is an area that, I'm usually like passing through here every day, actually, but there are a few times where I don't come through here if, there's like a daily in a different section. Because whenever I do like a typical CR run, I usually do like Prairie Forest, Valley of Triumph, and then whatever place the daily is. Plus also, Geyser and Granny. And sometimes Turtle. Right, so the area you're about to go to next is probably one of the least visited areas, because there's not too much going on through here. Oh, there we go. Alright, so this here is Prairie Peaks. A pristine landscape. I think this is the first like seasonal area that I did as a moth, because it's like in the first area. And this is where the season of moments occurred. Now I think when I first got onto Sky, the season of moments just ended or was close to ending, so I missed out on the hat and the glasses. And I'm still upset about that, because, I like the cowboy hat. It looks cool. Please, please let me wear your hat. Yeah, but like I said, this is probably the least, one of the least visited areas. I think the main reason people will come here is if there's a daily or for the wings. But there's a lot of neat sights to come through here. Yeah, some of you might already notice there's a more frequent day-night cycle. And here you can see lily pads, which I think was added on during one of the days of nature last year. They had like lily pad themed cape and like outfits. Oh, as you can see here, we have our cute little mantas buddies just sleeping on the shore here. Oh, no, come back. No. Alright, and we also have these stones, which are like, I actually discovered last year, these are like markers for the water level, because during days of nature, as it progresses, the water will rise, and it'll come up to this stone here. And this is something I didn't notice until towards the end of Days of Nature this year, because last year they did an event that introduced the, I guess, krill worms, which will pop out of the water and nab you and toss you around. Eh. Oh, this guy. This is the Jolly Geologist. This is the guy that usually has the dailies that people will come over and, wash his stones. He also does a neat little dance. Yeah, alright. Alright, I want to say real quick, I'm a huge fan of like caves and like underground themed areas. So this is like one of my favorite spots besides the sky area in the Sanctuary Islands. Oh, look at that giant rock there. Yeah, this is like another neat little cozy area where people can come and, just chill for a bit. And I believe that there's another hidden cave here. Where if you just go around here, through the back. And I think it's this way. Oh, probably not. But yeah, there's like a tunnel that leads to another hidden away cave. If it's just... Oh, there it is. Up on the right there. Aha! Yeah, I actually came across this on accident once when me and my friends were trying to find out of bounds areas. Yeah, it is kind of neat how it's just hanging out here. Yeah, but like I said, there's not much like to do in terms of like, ah, just throwing yourself out the window. Yeah, it is like another neat hangout spot where you can just talk to your friends or something, or take a nap without being bothered. Alright, now let's try to figure a way out of here. Yep. Yeah, I think another reason people don't come here often is how inconvenient it is to get here. Because, coming from a Uber who usually carries around AFK friends, if there's like a daily here, or if we're trying to collect wings, the only way to get in here is through that boat that we took earlier. It's like, okay, gotta wait for these guys to come back. Manta babies! Yippee! Oh, look at these guys, they're so adorable. Ah, look. They're so round, I want to squeeze them and squish them. Right, like I was saying, uh, it's very inconvenient to, like, carry AFK people here. Like, maybe if there was a wind path connection up here, it'd be, like, easier to get to. Or, like, if you could just fly through here. But, yeah, unfortunately, this is, like, you can't really go anywhere else. Well, there's also a bird cave over there. Actually, let's go ahead and check that out. Once we're here, alright, so we can either go down here, or there's another entrance up here. Yeah, so this is a place where the night bird usually appears. Yeah, this is where you get a special night bird call. Right here. Here, let me turn the volume back up a bit so you guys can hear better. Yeah. And I think during the, like, towards the end of the season of Bluebird, they're gonna introduce a new bird call. I don't, ironically, I don't usually use the bird calls since, you know, since my voice is a bit deeper. I like to use, like, a deeper call to sort of match up with it. I also like the way this sounds like what what, which I guess is also similar to the way I talk, in a way. What? Yeah, you know how you're walking down the street, and then someone says, "Hey Jay, how's it going?" I just go, what? It's like, oh, okay, Jay, that's good to know. Catch you later. And I go, what? Wee. But yeah, like I said, it's a beautiful area. Like, there was one time where I was here with a friend and we sort of called it, like, our secret place, since it's really beautiful, but there's not too much to do other than the season quests and the wings. Yeah. There's not really like a bench or something you can sit at. Yeah, you just sort of like sit here and enjoy the view. Screenshot. Yeah, that's another thing that really drew me into Sky, just the views and the different environments that you can travel to. I know it's kind of hard to appreciate it, you know, with my limited time and trying to grind candles and all that, but you know, sometimes you just gotta stop and smell the roses. I don't think there's too many secret areas here. I know there's a way you can get up above the cave where you can get a really nice, flat landscape. But I think it's easier if you have a friend to picky you, or if you're doing the picky carry with a friend. Yeah, I know I said my friends didn't have to join if they didn't want to, but I kind of secretly hope they do. It'd probably be easier to reach a lot of areas. And I believe I watched a video of people finding secret areas before. There's a invisible boat underneath this island here, but you need two people to activate it. Be pretty neat. Alright, I don't think there's any other, secret areas to find in terms of, people don't normally visit often. I'm pretty sure I showed most of the areas in the previous VOD. So we can go ahead and move on to Forest. I need to do my dailies anyway. Waboosh. Alright, I sort of explained how dailies worked in the previous VOD, but I think this is a good time to get a thorough, explanation. So each day, the daily events, they move on to the next area, and then cycle through, from Prairie through Lult. They don't usually do it in Isle of Dawn, so they don't confuse, new players. So yeah, sometimes the dailies will have you admire a tree, such as this guy here. Or they'll have you, perform a special action with a spirit. I think the special spirit specific quests, they actually added more recently. Because most of the time it's just, relive their specific memory. But they added, the more, action spirits. For this one, you need to do the scavenger hunt, which is a little hoop minigame that's related to the giggle guy. Because I know when he was a traveling spirit, his item was the hoop prop, which I didn't get, honestly, because there's not really much you can do with it. But yeah, I'll show you guys whenever we get around to it. Well, thank you. Right, so whenever you fill out the timer for this sapling quest, yep, the spirit will hug the tree, then you can hug the spirit back. And this is actually a good way to get the hug a friend emote, or the hug a friend quest. Because there's also quests where you have to interact with another player, but if you don't have any friends online, you can do it with other spirits. Oh. Sorry guys, something's coming up. I'll be with you in just a second. Please enjoy this little boogie. Alright, be right back, guys. Alright, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to take care of a personal matter. Alright, on with the dailies. Alright, so if you see these orange candles here, there's typically 4 you have to collect, which will give you an extra season candle. As I said before, you use these candles to buy items from the season event. And I've already purchased them all, so yeah, any extra candles you collect, they'll be transferred over into normal candles. So yeah, I typically try to get any candles and dailies I can, just so I have extra spending money. Because that's another thing about Sky. You know, there's a lot of expensive items that you can't really purchase unless you grind a whole bunch, so eh. I mean, with some people, they like the grind. If you guys remember June from the previous stream, the one that was talking about exercise or whatever it is, yeah, she's one of those people that likes the thrill of grinding resources. And I guess in a way I am too, like just the sense of completing a task. Now there's a difference between, you know, doing something for fun and doing something because you have to. Yeah, I know a lot of people who start out playing Sky, they'll get sick of having to grind all the time because it starts feeling like a job, which I understand. And it's not like you have to, you know, do everything at once. You know, eventually all the stuff you want to get will come back, hopefully. Yep. But yeah, I see myself playing Sky for quite a bit longer, I would say. And I know there are times where, you know, I'll just come on, do the minimum dailies in CR and do something else, which is fine. Or I'll come on to say hi to friends, and if friends want to say hi to me, I'll visit them. Which I think is, like, the main reason why people play Sky. Because there's a lot of wholesome vibes to it. Oh, and here's the specific spirit we'll have to relive. And this is typically what the dailies are usually have you do before. Like, most often, they'll have you find a specific spirit and then go through their memories. Uh-oh. And see with this one, since it's exposed to rain, that it's more likely to disappear if you don't get to it fast enough. As you can see, this guy here is leading the guide, which is the guy with the, I guess, he's leading the other spirit up this log here. Ugh. And I think this guy is the most accident prone because you can see he has an eye patch on it. And you can actually buy the eye patch whenever he comes back as a traveling spirit. I know Phantom had this spirit before. Alright, I don't think... Yeah, so when you do, like a specific relive with a specific spirit, you don't necessarily have to burn it open. Though if it is like general relieve any spirit in an area, it will have you like do this sequence. Hey Joe Schmo, how's it going? 2, 3, 4. Voila. Alright, next up is the knock over crabs and complete the scoop scavenger hunt. Right, so and another interesting tidbit about this section of the forest specifically, this is where during Skyfest it can be converted into a special art gallery, which is where you can see like concept art for different characters and environments for Sky. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like looking at different like art styles that they went through for games. I'm sure a lot of games still do like art galleries or like concept art sections. I know you don't necessarily need to do it anymore nowadays since you can just look it up online, but yeah, it's nice to see what kind of art the game has to provide. I don't think there's too many secret areas here, so I'll just get this last bit of wax so we can move on to the next place. If there is a specific area that I might have missed, just let me know in the comments below. Or in the comment section here. Woo. Ah, dang it. Right, so for the crabs quest, there are crabs that, reside here, but since people typically get here before I do, you can't really flip them. Because once they're knocked over, you have to wait till they get back up, which usually takes quite a few minutes for them to get back up, so... yeah, you either have to wait till they get back up, or if you go through this area and then come back, then I think they'll get back up, but you can also go to the wasteland where there's a whole bunch of more crabs you can flip. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that later on. Alright, so for the hoop quest, this is actually an area where one of the assembly quests takes place. Yeah, so you see this section with 3 Sentin areas. This is a quest that needs 3 people to do. This is actually where I first met Phantom, but she went under she had a different name back then. I mean, sometimes I still call her that, and I'm sure she doesn't mind. I don't think there's like a specific name she prefers since she goes by different names in different games. But yeah, when I was trying to find someone to do this quest, I just so happened to be in a server where she and another person were also doing a quest. It's like, hey, do you need some help? I'm like, sure. And then we did this, and then I think we did the next quest, or we moved on to the next area, the valley. And she was like, by the way, what do they call you? And I'm like, oh, just call me Jay. And that's actually the first time I introduced myself to another player officially as a name. Because before it was mostly just me by myself or with people I didn't really talk to. But yeah, I think she was like my first official Sky friend, so yeah, Phantom and I have a pretty long history. Alright, so right here's the hoop quest. I don't think this is activated when it's not part of the daily. I honestly don't come here to do that otherwise, but yeah, so for this one, you have to fly through these hoops. And I think for this, they give you extra light when you pass through. Alright, so let me go ahead and start down here. Ah, beautiful. Now, usually you can knock this out in a few seconds if you're doing this with friends. I think this will just take me a quick second to get through. Boink. Bonk. It probably would have been easier if I just, turned off the rain and then did this, but I like the extra challenge, Makes the game more fun that way. Alright, there's those eggs. And interesting enough, during one of the Bluebird quests, it's sort of implied that those eggs are like the eggs of the bluebird that we've been searching for. Or like a bird specifically. So I'm not sure if maybe later on they'll show them hatching. They'll be like, oh look, little baby bluebirds. Alright, last one. And beautiful. Yes, take me back. Nice. Alright, that's 3 quests down. One more to go. But before that, let me see if I can show you guys one more secret area before we go. Alright, so if you head into the grandma section, I'm sure you guys are familiar with grandma. Hop in through here. Now there's one more, or I guess 2 areas that people like to come through. The first area is actually under here. Bloop. Yep, so through this tunnel. And voila. A secret little campfire. Yeah, so this is an area where I think that game company intended people to find easier, since there's a campfire right here. Sort of like a place where you can sit down and chill for a bit. Try to recharge. Yeah, but like I said, there's not too much in here. Now let's see if it can reach the other area. So you can actually get on top of the trees here. I know you can't really see them from under here, but there's a section in the clouds here where if you go at it at the right angle, you can... Come on. Almost got it. Go through the clouds. Almost. Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of twirling around, but Eventually you'll find the opening. And voila! Or wait. Aha! There's the voila! I was actually shocked at first, because it's like, oh my god, they cut the trees down. But nah, all the trees here are just, flat. Except for that one over there. That one looks like it was torn down. Oh, there's also a crack in the skybox right there, if you guys can see. But yeah, I like this little detail of the tree torn here, because it implies that the trees actually do grow a lot taller, but people have come up and cut them down. It goes for more of the, like, deforestation aspect, because, like, people cutting down trees for having to use for resources. There's also an invisible floor here. Oh. Oh, if you guys see that tree sort of leaning into that other tree? I didn't notice. It's not like, oh, it's just leaning on it. It's actually connected to that tree. It sort of morphed into one. Yeah, if you guys remember Foxy from the last stream, there was one time where me, Foxy, and another friend of ours were just hanging out. And yeah, this is like another common spot for Sky Kids to visit and chill for a bit. Yeah, I do like how even if that game company is aware of that, they still keep it open. Because it's like, oh, there's a special place for players to go, so yeah, might as well keep it there. Oh, that reminds me, there are actually other secret areas in Aviator Village, which I can show you here in a bit. Alright, so let's go ahead. Alright, first let's check out the temple, because there is a secret area in this building that me and my friends discovered a while back. It is a bit tricky to get in, so... Oh, hello friend, how are you? Because there's a certain requirement you have to do to get in. Yes, I do. Alright, door's finally open. Alright, so to get into the secret area, you have to do the Chibi Fall. Which, for those of you who don't know, is a special, I guess, glitch you can do. Alright, so what you have to do is you have to be chibi size. So there is a specific mask that can shrink you down, but you also have spells. And usually the mask is the more efficient way, but, just to save time, I'll just use the spell. You also need this specific stance, the sneak stance, which you can find from a spirit in the wasteland. Right, so all you have to do is stand like this. And then go up to a slight incline or an edge. Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh. We can help these guys out first. Alright, first rule of playing Sky. If you see a friend that needs help, take time to help them out. Alright. So if you find a slight incline or a small hill, like these steps, if you hold down the button that lets you dive underwater, if you move forward, voila, you clip through the world. Now it's not... Now, typically this is where we do the skip to get to the next area, besides the tent glitch. But it's actually through this door here, which is where I want to show you. So let's see if I can get in. There we go. Aha. So right here is a secret room on the other side of this door. Now, as far as I know, there isn't really like an explanation to why this room exists. I mean, from the way it looks, it might have been like a special mural room. So you can see the space there where something might have been there, but for some reason it's closed off. Yeehaw, exactly. See, I know like out of bounds rooms isn't anything like new. I know a lot of games do this, but you know it's neat when you find them, you know? It's like a special secret place that you have to be crafty to discover. Alright, now in Valley, there is a special out of bounds area. I briefly mentioned it in the last VOD, but I want to save that for last. In Wasteland, there's not too many or other areas that I know of. There is like a special portal that you can take actually. Here, let me show you real quick. Alright, so if you come around here, aha. So this is the switch pipe, as I like to call it. Because you can see this is a Cape-specific portal. And some of you might already know, but this is where people who play the Switch version of Sky can sneak into. I believe you have to buy either the minus cape or the plus cape. And like I said, this is a Nintendo Switch exclusive area. I actually was able to get in here with the help of a friend one time. Oh, actually. Ah. Wait, can I? What will it? Ah, dang. See, I thought this was gonna be like a secret sneak in. Oh. Oh, hello. See the hair I'm using? Yes. See all the things here? Oh yeah, this person is giving the more explained explanation. Oh, thank you, random person. Oh. Well, listen, I appreciate your help, but I don't think we have the time to do that right now, but, I appreciate your help. If you're watching this, thank you for stopping by. And, yeah, hit me up if you want to help people out. Alright, love you too, buddy. Alright, now there's not a lot of extra places in Wasteland. I know there's like a place you can get to, but you need help with a friend. There's also this little section here. Alright, so I probably won't have too much time left, so I'm gonna go ahead and take you to the vault. Yeah, the vault is, if you've seen from the thumbnail, is where you can access more places from previous seasons. Alright, so real quick, once you enter, if you come through here, there's a secret tunnel that takes you to the office room. Now to get in, if it's not a special event, then you need to buy the cape to let you get in. I do have a friend who has bought it, but I don't think they're on right now, so yeah, just gonna have to wait till next time, I suppose. But yeah, whenever there's a special holiday event, there'll be, I guess that game company representative spirit will be here, and if you hold their hand, they'll guide you through. And I don't think I'm allowed to chibi fall through there. I've actually tried doing that once. It just teleported me back. It's like, nice try. Alright, the moment you guys have been waiting for. Alright, so go through this tunnel here. This will take you to the collab room. Now before this room was introduced, this actually took you to the Starlight Desert, which is where the Little Prince events came. But whenever they started adding like more events and more collab seasons, they added in this room so you can just come through and teleport here whenever you want. Voila. And this is another popular place where you can come hang out and chill. Yeah, there's a few rare, hard to find seating areas here. Alright, but the place I want to show you the most is actually through here. And this is a pretty, I want to say, late game area. So if you don't want spoilers, you can try to skip on ahead if you want. But yeah, you have to complete not the very last quest of the Little Prince, but like the second to last quest of the Little Prince. But yeah, once you do that, then this section here will be able to come through. Run little legs, go. And unfortunately, you can't just fly up through here, as convenient as it would have been. Yeah, because with all the wind, you have to force brute sport your way through. Alright, so just bear with me. We'll be right there. Alright, so during the quest itself, you have to follow the Little Prince past these structures and this giant bone skeleton. Yeah. Alright, come on, little buddy. You're almost there. I hope you guys are liking the stream so far. If you are, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to help out a little small creator. Well, small in terms of me actually being small. Alright. So this section here. Not really this well, but right over here. Some of you guys might already know that this area is here, but yeah, this is a special memorial area. Yep, in loving memory of Don Heem and the loved ones we've lost. Yeah, so Don Heem was like a technician or the developer. And I'm not exactly sure when he had passed, but it's nice that they made a little memorial area here. Yeah, it is a bit hard to get to, but it was a nice place to stop and, reflect. I've actually been here a couple times with my friends, whenever I needed to talk about something serious. Yes, it's a nice place to set the mood. Things changed so much, I'm scared. Yeah, I understand. Oh. Yeah, so Liz is another friend of mine. Yeah, I don't think I should read her note here. Alright, Liz, if you're watching this, yeah, I know last time you said you had something going on, but whatever it is, I hope you make it through okay. Alright, on with the tour. So yeah, it's a nice little memorial area. I'm glad that place is there. Right, now like I said before, the portal room was added on when they started doing more collab seasons. And I guess they couldn't figure out how to connect them all to the main sky path. So I think what they did is just add this portal room so you can teleport to different places. Now most of you are familiar with this. This is the Aurora portal, which takes you right to the Aurora quests, or the Colosseum. Yep, so right here, takes you right to Aurora, where you can do the quests. Yeah, I remember when I first started doing the special Aurora season quests. Whenever you completed a special quest, you had to come all the way back here to confirm it. And when I found out when they added this special teleporter here, it's like, oh, this is a lot more convenient. No, I don't have to run all the way through the valley to get here. Alright, moving on. Whoop. Now, unfortunately, with a couple areas, you can't just come back to the portal. Oh. Yeah, you sort of have to, teleport home and back. like this next area here. And so this is the season of the nine-colored deer. Yeah, this is based off of a I'm not sure if it's like a Chinese story or whatever type of story it is, but yeah, this is based off like a fairy tale. Like not really like over the Three Little Pigs kind of fairy tale, but yeah, I guess it's a bit more obscure. Well, I don't want to say obscure because I'm sure people who are very familiar with it, like they'll know like all the beats to it. Like they probably heard it over and over again. But as someone who's from America, it's not really referenced much, so yeah, when I found out this was a fairy tale, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Alright, so just right up this hill, here we have the Crescent Oasis. Yep, and here's another mural here, showing the story of the nine-colored deer. Yeah, so this is the Sky Kid's perspective story. So when you first come here, you get chased by Krill, and then you're saved by the deer. You help them save the animals, and then the 9 deer ends up getting captured, so you gotta go free him, and then it's all happy all go around. And I didn't get the season pass for this one, since the cosmetics didn't stand out to me that much. But, you know, I thought the story was nice enough. Right, and this is another area that people tend to not visit very often, besides the quests. Although there is a special secret right under here. It should be around this side of the pond. Aha. Alright, here we go. Whee! Woohoo! Voila. Yeah, so this here is the, I guess, castle or temple. But yeah, as you can see, there's not too much going on here. Like, I know it's a desert, mostly, so it's gonna be a lot of sand, but, you know, other than a few buildings, there's not much to say. Right over there's the emperor, or the king. Alright, so we'll take this elevator here. Oh. Oh no, my TV spell wore off. Now I'm just a tall guy again. Alright, so while there are candles here, there's not that many to go around. So another reason why people don't typically visit this area. There's also these chairs that you can't really use. Oh, the palace. Right, that's the name of it. Right, so there's those candles here. There's also this chandelier right up here. And if you go around to the back, there's this other open area right here. And the funny thing is, I don't think this cave was actually featured in the main quests. Other than that spear right here, there's not really much else in here, you know? There's also these boxes and some cages, which I guess implies that this is where they held the 9-colored deer when they captured it in the story. But not too much else going on. Right, so we get a more open view from up here. That's the waterfall that we popped out of. And there is some semblance of a society here, with all these buildings around, but I don't think you can actually go inside them. But aside from them all being closed. And yeah, this is a lot similar to the Starlight Desert, in which it's very wide and very spacious, so it's very easy to lose energy pretty quick. So I've got to recharge myself here. There we go. So yep, if you just fly on right up there, back of the oasis. And there is one more area off to the side here. I've got to fly through this tunnel. And this is the special area that you can't reach until you've completed all the quests. There was a special cape available to purchase during the 9-colored deer season as it was going on. So if you bought the cape, it gave you a special ability to teleport to this specific area here with the tree. And this is also where the 9-colored deer itself will appear, and you can watch it run around. Unfortunately, you can't really ride on it, as I was secretly hoping to do. Which is weird, because during the quest, you can actually ride on the deer to complete it. So, yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but, it's still a nice area. I think up here we can get a better view. Lovely. And this area was also part of a special Days event, Days of Moonlight, where it would take place during at night, and you solve different riddles. Or you can make riddles and solve riddles. Wasn't too much going on, but it was nice. Oh, there's a bench right over there. Let's get across this pond. And voila. The only sittable bench in this whole world. Oh, is that another path up there? Yeah, so unfortunately, you can't really get in through here without you know, going through that whole section first, unless you have the cape. Well, there's the only other bench there. Ooh. Where does this lead? And unfortunately, this is... Oh, just up here. This is another area where there's no wind path to take. So, yeah, people usually only come here to get the wings. I mean, for what it is, it looks nice. But like I said, there's not really much to it besides the spirits. And we can't really teleport home by sitting down either. So we'll have to come to the portal room. Voila. Alright, we're starting to run a little bit short on time here, but it's okay because the next few areas aren't as detailed, I'd say. Boop. Alright, so this year is a special season where they collabed with Moomin. I'm sure a lot of you guys might be familiar with it. I know it's like really big in Japan when they did it, when they announced it during Skyfest this year. I was like, ah, it's Moomin! Schnufkin, I love you! But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot less going on here than the desert area. But this is actually more of a hub section. Yep, right here was... They weren't really spirits, but like standees, similar to the ones in the duets concert room, where you can buy different items that are similar to the Moomin characters. But a little interesting tidbit is this side. This is where the actual Moomin quest would take you. But this side, yeah, as you can see, it's more black and gray. And this is where a separate side story was going on. I think it's in reference to one of the characters in Moomin. But yeah, if you want to see like the actual valley itself, you have to travel there as a butterfly. I know there was another cape you could purchase, which you could go there as your Sky Kid, but yeah, it costs a lot of money. Oh, I almost forgot. This is where you can buy like a special invisible skin outfit, which if combined that and another prop or another cosmetic, it gave you a special call. I know a couple of friends that have that, so... Oh yeah, so another interesting tidbit. Remember when I mentioned the tent glitch back in the last episode? Yeah, this is where people bought the tent to perform that glitch during the season of Moomin. But yeah, in this area here, you can relive different stories from the Moomin series. Here's also where you can redo the Moomin story quests, or like the main story. Dang it. Yeah, I think with the cape that lets you actually inside the house, but I don't think that's the case as butterfly mode, which is a real shame. But yeah, this is a place where if you're really into Moomin, you can come visit. This takes up this whole realms of sky. Sure. Oh, just takes us back here. But yeah, I think since this is like a collab with a big name, I guess, product, it's a bit harder to, get to. And it's a little like smaller here. There's like the wing is literally right over there. But the good thing about this area is that there's a portal built in that takes you back to the aviary village, which I wish they kind of do for the 9 deer area. So you can just walk right through. And wait till you see the bluebird area. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the cosmetics and the stories themselves. Like, the quests have been okay, but yep, so you can see the sad boy right here. Grandma, no. She's sad, because the boy's dead. But yeah, as you can see, this is another hub-like area for the other quests. Yeah, so each of these are the traveling spirits. Each of them have... So as I was saying earlier, during the, what you can do is collect the season candles. You can spend them to buy items from these seasonal spirits here. The thing about these spirits specifically is that they're each, redesigns of previous season spirits. And if some of you are familiar with the Season of Radiance, they reused spirits from the very first season. The 3 main ones. So yeah, I think this is the start of a trend where they're gonna start, recycling different spirits from previous seasons, which, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, it's nice to get new cosmetics, but, hopefully this doesn't mean, that game company isn't running out of ideas. But yeah, this is the current season that's still ongoing. So, if you have the season pass, if you buy all the items from a spirit, you can purchase the season heart, which you can buy items from the season guide. And this special section on the right side is the ultimate items. Yeah, these are season specific items that once the season is gone, you're not able to purchase again. Yeah, same thing with the traveling with the spirits. Once the season is done, there'll be traveling spirits, which means later on they'll eventually come back, where you can buy their items for regular candles. And that's sort of the give and take part about the season pass, Like, in addition to more items, you can get the other items right away, or you can wait however many years it takes for them to get back to purchase the other items. But you do get additional candles if you keep grinding the dailies, as I've mentioned before, so yeah, I guess it's not too bad. A normal season pass, for the US at least, is like $10 for the season for one person. Or if you want to buy 2 more for your friends, it's like $25, which is a pretty good deal. I'm not trying to sell you the game or anything. Like, Sky itself is free, but a lot of stuff is in-app purchases. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to spend money. Oh, while we're here, we can go ahead and gather up some of these. Gather up the cheese. Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, I still need to get yours, buddy. Alright, so we got a few more minutes. I think we can end the tour with one last special area. Now, most people are probably aware of what I'm about to show you, but when I first discovered it, I was like, my mind was blown. Like, my little mod brain couldn't handle how it was able to hide this from everybody. Alright, so first, we need to get to the Colosseum. Which, actually, why didn't I just take the Aurora path? Oh well. Alright. Let's go ahead and activate this. Alright, and I know I didn't show all of the places in Sky. I know there's a couple places I looked over, but I don't want to show you guys everything. You know, if you want to see the other places, you have to discover for yourself. And hopefully, the next time around, if I do decide to do another Sky stream, I'll have everything, like all the technical issues, worked out. Alright, so once you're here, you're gonna want to go to the altar area. Oh, let me get this. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, if you don't have that many wing levels, it might be a little hard to reach. So, if you're still fairly low level, you might want to bring a friend with you. Alright. So once you get here, you're going to want to make sure you're leveled up or recharged as much as you can. Beautiful. And then what you're gonna do is fly up to these windows right up here. You want to go to this very far right. Then you sort of shimmy your way past the border. And then, voila. Woo. Alright, so we're currently going out of bounds right now. It's a little hard to control, but we should be able to make it there okay. Use the clouds to recharge you if you need. And then once we get over the cloud level, almost. Aha. There she blows. Right, now I think the name a lot of people call this building is the Starlight Coliseum. You'll find out why here in a second. Yeah, when I first got here, I was like, whoa! That's pretty awesome. Right, and this is another place that's I would consider one of my favorites, because Aha. Right, so if you look down below, those guys down there are actually the Valley Elders. Yeah, so this is the place where, when you interact with them the first time, this is where your little avatar teleports to, so you can act out the scene with them. But yeah, you can see there's a lot of stars up here. Let me go ahead and give you a recharge. Beautiful. Alright, quick note. I love how this cape has little blue feathers flying out. I think that's pretty cute. Alright. So look at this beautiful view. Yeah, this is a reason why this is another one of my favorite spots. Yeah, what can I say? I'm a guy that loves a nice view. Yeah, sometimes, I like to come to places like this where I can just stare out and contemplate things. Yeah, this reminds me of, after I did my first Sky Tour video, Faye actually came up to me and is like, "Oh, do you want to do Sky content? Or what's going on with that?" Yeah, when I first started doing these streams, I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting into. Like, I knew I wanted to play games, like what other VTubers or other YouTubers I used to watch back then do. And I know that I don't have as big of an audience as these guys, but it still feels pretty good to, take time to try something I've always wanted to do, you know? So another big thing about, streaming is, it takes a lot of time and effort to, plan things out or like try to get everything working together. And, there's other things I want to try to do on the side. There's games I want to play in my off time, or, sometimes I want to try something new or different. And like, I'm glad that I'm getting into streaming a bit. Though honestly, I'm not really sure how much I'll be able to do, because, there's other streamers out there who I guess have the more natural knack for this, you know? But I just want to see how far I can take it. Like I've said before, I want to be, or at least I wanted to be that guy that, people would go to whenever they need, time to chill and relax with people. But, after doing a bit of reflection, I've met a lot of nice people in this game, and, they've affected my life in ways that I didn't really expect, honestly. And, in a way, I've also affected their lives in a way they didn't expect. So, yeah, that's why I really love this game, Sky, because, it introduced a lot of good people that I'm glad are in my life. Oh, speaking of which, there's actually something I wanted to do with someone else, so we're gonna have to wrap up this tour here. I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day or night. And as always, I'll see you when I see you. I'll send you guys off with one last little ditty, and I'll see you on the flip side. Here we go.